Good evening and welcome to this special Election 2016 edition of Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Tonight's show is a debate. We'll hear from candidates competing to represent Arizona's Congressional District 1. As with all of Arizona Horizon's debates, this is not a formal exercise. It's an open exchange of ideas, an opportunity for give and take between candidates for one of the state's most important offices. As such, interjections, even interruptions, are allowed, provided that all sides get a fair shake, and we will do our best to see that that happens. CD1 is huge. It's the 10th largest congressional district in the country. It stretches from Page to just north of Tucson and takes in much of eastern Arizona. About 25% of the district's population is American Indian. The congressional seat is being vacated by Democrat Ann Kirkpatrick, who is challenging Republican Senator John McCain. We now move on to our debate. The candidates, Pinal County Sheriff and Republican Paul Babeu, and former state lawmaker, Democrat Tom O'Halloran. Each candidate will now have 1 minute for opening and closing statements. Earlier, we drew numbers to see who goes first, and that honor goes to Tom O'Halloran.
Thank you, Ted, and thank you for Horizon. I grew up in a family, a working class family, and that family my father worked day in and day out, and every weekend I watched him put together a little notebook of what was going to occur with his ability to provide for our family in the coming week. And so the bottom line here is that I had a strong sense of hard work, a strong sense of ethics, and a strong sense of community. And what's happening in America today and in Arizona today is the dysfunctional Congress. We have to make sure that we start working for the middle class families and the working class families of America again. We have to take into account what our children need and the opportunities for their future. When I was at the legislature, I worked on child protective services. I worked on education issues, successfully bringing people together and unifying.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we turn to Paul Babeu.
Well, as you may know me as a sheriff for the past 8 years of Pinal County, and I've worked hard leading 600 plus men and women who our job is to protect families, protect Arizona. And we've done a good job at that. We're the largest drug bust in the history of Arizona, $3 billion, fighting the Sinaloa cartel. I also have had the honor to serve our nation as an Army officer. Started out as a private, and I served 20 years. I served a tour in Iraq. I commanded soldiers on the border. I'm for enforcing the law, securing our border, and protecting America. I don't feel our nation is more secure or more safe than it was 8 years ago. Our economy is struggling. National debt is $20 trillion. We have to fix our country. I will be a part of the solutions for our country of lowering taxes and regulation and putting America and our citizens first.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's get it going here. Tom, why you for this position, representing this district in Congress, and not him?
Well, I've represented this district before in many areas. I've looked upon issues, statewide issues, education, health care. I have had a very successful record in the legislature on making sure I work bipartisanship across party lines, sometimes against my leadership, sometimes with my leadership, in order to provide solutions and not tear people apart and make sure that working families are thought of first. And I believe that my skill set, my experience, both in law enforcement and in business, allow me to have the perspective to be able to do that in Congress.
Same question. Why you and not him?
Well, this is about jobs in our economy. And clearly, I'm not, and a lot of people in our state are struggling to make ends meet. And the government has become too large and too costly, evidenced by a $20 trillion deficit. We've got to cut spending. We can't continue to think that we're going to spend our way into prosperity or tax our way. That's failed. It's failed here in the state of Arizona. It's failed nationally. We need new leaders. I'm an outsider, not just as a sheriff, but coming from, you look at our budget. I've asked for more money because I provide a core service. I've had an 8% budget cut now in the past 2 years. I've had to keep 53 plus vacancies in the sheriff's office. So nobody could convince me in Washington that we can't cut back, we can't set priorities, and live within our means, because this really threatens not just our economy, and it hurts the taxpayer. While 95 million Americans are out of work, it threatens our national security.
cutting when you get back to Washington, cutting back on spending in general, a focus, a priority for you?
Investing in our future is a priority for me. Making sure we live within our means is a priority to me. I'm not going to just haphazardly cut across the board when we have education issues to deal with, addressing our infrastructure needs, addressing the security of our nation, whether it's with our military or our borders. These are prime areas that we have to invest in the future, not just move back on. We have to protect the American citizens. And my record identifies clearly that I can do that. I cut taxes when appropriate for business. Property taxes from 25 to 20%. Personal income taxes, $500 million for small business and people throughout our state, and for our corporations that export out of this country. So I have that experience and I have that background.
Cutting where appropriate as opposed to just cutting to cut.
Not just that. When you hear these key words as investing, that's code for more of the same. More of the same is not going to fix our country, is not going to bring trillions of dollars that are offshore back into the United States and grow and build jobs here in the United States. How we do that is we cut taxes and literally reduce all these tax brackets into three main categories for every taxpayer, and also the corporate tax. This is different. And some people say, well, that's not going to help. We're going to have less money for the government. And if you believe in that concept, I'm not the guy to vote for. I'm the guy that says, get government out of the way and allow the job creators, which are small business, to create the jobs, create opportunity. And that's where too much costly regulation has really strangled our economy and jobs.
Some would argue that government was pushed too far out of the way during the last years of the Bush administration, and we wound up having a crisis, an economic crisis. How do you respond to that?
Well, look at, perfect example is right here in Arizona. When we had, nationally on that point, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and you see that all of these loans that are propped up by the government, and you see this housing crash and collapse take place, and our government was a party to this, picking winners and losers. What I'm saying as well is when you have here in Arizona, the Forest Service, the EPA, that have come in the name of trying to protect our environment, and what they've done, and a lot of us have talked about it, the Gold King mine spill, harming, destroying our environment. When you see the Forest Service, that while they're saying they're trying to protect our forests, 20% of our forests have been destroyed, have been burnt in the last 12 years. And we're not able to environmentally safely thin our forests that can also complement lumber and industry.
Respond, please.
Well, Paul hasn't cut taxes in his career. I have. I have on a consistent basis cut taxes to improve the working conditions of working class families and small businesses in Arizona. Paul has not had to run a small business like I have and make sure that the paychecks go out to the workers in that business, making sure that we expand that business. And I have a lot of experience both in the private sector and the government sector in making sure we do not overregulate. Regulation is a cost factor, and I want to make sure that that cost factor is not passed on to our businesses to hinder their ability to hire our citizens in our state.
I can tell you that what I haven't done, because this is very important, because we're talking about going from being a Republican and you lost your election because you voted for massive budget increases under Governor Napolitano. Governor Brewer told me, watch out for taxing Tom O'Halloran, because 64% increase in our state budget. The reason we had to sell our state capitol, the Senate, the legislature, is because we didn't have money after you left office. And so we've had to live with that, a structurally imbalanced budget. Governor Ducey is fighting for our recovery. And it's not about spending more money. And as much as you like to say you've cut taxes, the record shows that massive increases in spending, 64%. And that's the wrong type of philosophy of, quote, investing, sending to Washington at a time when we're about to collapse.
We need a response.
Yes, you'll get a response. Tax and Tom, I just saw that on one of your fundraiser requests. Tax and Tom, we had almost 1 million people enter this state while I was in the legislature. We had a 27% inflation factor. We had to pay back $2 billion worth of funding for our schools in maintenance that had been deferred. We dealt with a lawsuit of almost $600 million, and we put more money in our universities and our colleges and our K-12 education system to improve the future of our children, and dealt with child protective service reform and the ability of our children to be appropriately have health care under Kids Care program, and many more, including $10 million a year into border security on GET'em.
At the very least, can you use
Yes.
those numbers when the population increases as it did and when inflation increases
You're,
as it did?
you're talking to a sheriff who has responsibility for public safety in the fastest growing county in our state, one of the fastest growing counties in America. My budget did not grow by 64%. In fact, it's been cut back. It's been cut back 8%. That's millions and millions of dollars. Now, you can't just say, well, our state's growing and we have to increase spending by 64%. That's how we got into this mess. We had to sell all of these government buildings. Governor Brewer, one of the first things she said is, this is embarrassing for our state. I want the legislature to buy back the building, the nine-story tower that even the governor's office was in. My God, that's fiscally irresponsible.
We cut budgets when they were needed to be cut. In good times, we cut taxes and improved our infrastructure in this state, improved our children's future. The whole concept that because Governor Brewer says that she was in trouble doesn't mean that it was because of what occurred before. We improved the entire situation. We went from a rating in the legislature of in the mid-teens, according to the Capital Times, to over 50%. The people of this state knew things were being done for them and for their future. You can always cut, but the idea is to prioritize those cuts so you don't hinder the future of America. And yet when you do deal with the issues of mortgages in America,
Yes.
the Republican Senate, the Republican Congress, and the Republican President should have dealt with those issues for 6 years. Instead, they chose not
Well,
to
I
do
can
that.
tell you here, because you took these votes. And the fact is that when you were fired from your job as a legislator, that this state, the leaders in our state, had to pay off this debt, not just for the state buildings. We had the highest per capita debt per citizen of any state. We all remember the catastrophe and the billions and billions of dollars in California, and to try to get out of that mess. We were in further debt per capita than they were. I do want to raise the issue of coal, because it deals with us, and Tom and I have both talked about it, and about jobs. We have 4 coal-fired generating stations in Arizona. They all happen to be right in this district that we're seeking to represent, and I want to make it clear that I will fight to preserve coal as an energy source, and not just because of the 3,000 to 5,000 jobs directly connected to those generating stations, the coal mines. We've heard Hillary say she wants to close coal mines and unemploy these miners, and then the train conductors and engineers, but also our electric rates. Everybody pays electric, right? The estimates are increases of 30, it could be higher as 40%, immediately passed on to ratepayers. So I think we've got to discuss that issue.
Let's get to the coal industry, jobs, and the environment.
Well, I don't want the coal industry issue to pass by very quickly. Paul knows very well that I have gone around this state saying we are going to protect those jobs. That it was this regulatory environment that the EPA put forward without talking to our local communities, without understanding the needs of our school districts, without understanding the long-term viability of a national energy plan, and not as a country, whether it's been the last decade or the last 2 decades, investing seriously in clean coal technology. We need to do those things.
Well, you can't have it both ways.
Well, I can
No.
have my position.
You
and
can have your
can't tell me I
position, but
can't
it
have my
changes.
position.
The last debate we were in, you said publicly that you supported the EPA's plan.
No, I didn't.
That's
No,
what I remember.
Go back to. I understand what
The
you
Arizona
remember.
Republic reported it that way too.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
No, they didn't.
Well, let me tell you
what I have been reporting across all the newspapers, across all the people that represent workers in these factories and coal mines, is that I am against the EPA regulatory environment, and just what I said a second ago is what I've been saying as a consistent story.
Well, let me share a story. We were both in Holbrook, and we talked to the train conductors and engineers, which I don't know if you remember, but a third of them were on furlough. There's about 100, 120 of them in that room. Tom spoke first, and then I spoke second. and they asked him a question, and you can ask Scott, the union president, and the other members there, and they recollect that you told them that you don't trust the Republicans to clean up the pollution in the environment, and therefore you support the Clean Power Plan.
Well, first of all, I did not.
Let me finish the story.
You weren't there.
I was there.
No, not during that time.
There.
You were in an outer room. You had just gotten there late. I understand it fully when you got there, and that is not what I told them. As you said, they recollect. So, that is not what occurred.
Well, let's talk to the 100 and 120
and
people,
you talk
because
to all the other
here's
unions
why.
that
Because
they represent.
why would union? Almost every one of them in that room were Democrats, and they voted almost unanimously to endorse me. They gave me a $5,000 PAC check, and the reason why they said it is we know you're going to fight for coal as an energy source, and you're going to fight for our jobs.
And every other
That's
union
clear.
that represents workers in the coal industry and in the power generation industry have endorsed me, and I've gotten
that's
checks
where
from them.
You can't
So,
continue
no,
to say
no,
something in one group, and then you go to a different group and say something else.
You say they recollect. Who recollects? How many of them? The bottom line here is simple.
Why would they endorse
the
me
bottom
then?
line here is simple. I've been endorsed by the vast majority of them. You've been endorsed by one.
Most unions are going to support the Democrat candidate. I came to speak, and it's one of the few opportunities I was given to speak to a union, and I won them over almost unanimously, and they're all Democrats, because they know that I will fight the EPA. I will stand up to the president, just as I did on the Second Amendment, which I understand you've changed your position on the Second Amendment, according to the NRA.
All right, hold on there.
Hold on.
Second Amendment, have you changed your position?
Second Amendment, I'm a former police officer. I've been endorsed by the NRA multiple times. I have changed the position as far as one position. I believe terrorists should not be allowed a loophole to purchase firearms in America today. I believe that felons should not be allowed a loophole to purchase firearms in America today.
So you would be surprised that the NRA has unanimously endorsed me.
I wouldn't be surprised at that at all, because any little change in the process will move to that direction.
Well,
you disagree with his positions regarding terrorists and felons. You do disagree with the loophole.
I stood up to President Obama face to face. Anderson Cooper called me on a show and he said, "Sheriff, I know you're a big critic of President Obama when it comes to lack of border security, lack of enforcing the law, executive actions." And he says, "I'd like to have you on this town hall with the president to ask him a question." And I said, "I get to ask the president directly?" He said, "Yes." I came on and I said to the president, because he tries to make this argument, the same arguments that you're trying to make, that are false arguments. That any executive action or any infringement on our Second Amendment freedom, where you were a police officer in Chicago, you should know this.
Please.
It is less safe.
Let him
It is
respond.
less safe.
I know
Thousands of people have been killed.
that people should be allowed to have the protection in their homes, in their cars, on their person. I agree with all
Why
of that.
didn't you respond to the NRA's questionnaire
I
then?
don't believe that people that are felons and are terrorists should have any ability legally to procure weapons, and I worked as an undercover officer to make sure that those weapons were off the street.
Well, I'm scratching my head now because you used to be against Obamacare, and now you're for it, and you're trumpeting it. You used to have a different position, and now after 2 phone calls and a questionnaire by the NRA, Tom O'Halloran's dark.
All right.
That's a clue to me in law
I
enforcement.
need a response, please.
I did not fill out their questionnaire because I knew very quickly that they were against the loophole changes. So why fill out a questionnaire that would allow them to just do what that's occurred? I am a public safety. I took an oath of office for public safety. I want our citizens protected. I am not going to do away with the Second Amendment, and I believe that we need to move in the
how does it
direction
make us
of
safer
making
then?
sure the Second Amendment is protected.
We need to move on because we're running out of time. Hold on. We need to move on here, and I want to get to just a general question regarding. It's been brought up before in this debate. You were once a Republican. You then became an independent. You are now a Democrat. Why should voters trust that you have a commitment to ideals when you get back to Washington?
Because it's the same ideals that I worked on before. The ideal is simple: to be able to represent the people of Congressional District 1. Those ideals were never questioned when I was in the legislature. No part of my public policy has ever been questioned whether I was representing the people before the party or the people before leadership. I lost my chairmanship because I fought for people. I lost my bills one time because I fought for people. So the idea that I'm not going to fight for the citizens of Congressional District 1 is just ridiculous.
All right, question. No,
I don't buy that.
Okay, why not?
Why? Because he did represent a district, and they said we we don't like what you're doing, and you're fired because of all your taxing, your growing of the budget, 64%. You can't have it both ways. And then you ran as an independent just 2 years ago. And now the very month you said you're going to run for Congress, that's a political opportunist.
You
Quickly,
can't,
please.
you can't have your math.
issue.
You can't have your math and not acknowledge the real math. The real math is 27% inflation. The set-aside issues that were for decades that we needed to take care of, 20% growth in our population.
We're talking about you switching parties,
Those are
though.
real numbers. And the
Okay.
real numbers are how many children were impacted at the Sisto school.
Well,
why did you switch
by
parties?
child
There
care.
have- there have been-
there have been
And
questions.
make sure
Yeah.
on that.
Hold on, gentlemen. There have been questions regarding you switching parties. There have been questions about you, too, as well.
Sure.
Regarding the DeSisco School in Massachusetts, the state investigated. You had the Attorney General having to investigate some alleged allegation of
Right.
wanting to deport a Mexican man who was threatening to reveal
Which-
details of your personal
Absolutely,
life.
which is all proved to be
and now you've got
false.
the FBI looking at
Not-
RICO funds. Are they
Okay.
not looking at RICO funds? They're
Not at
looking
the sheriff's office. Now, this is the reality of the situation. I had an 8-way primary. We spent $4 million. I emerged from that primary when all these candidates talked about these things, not only fully vetted, this has gone on for years. The day I win, Tom and his allies, instead of introducing him and what he stands for, attack me.
Tom didn't attack you on that. Tom
Listen
attacked
to
you
my
on
response.
DeSisco School, and
this is
your inability to tell the citizens the truth
No,
about the fact that you knew everything that was going on in that
Well,
school,
let me answer
and
that.
even are in
Because
denial
we have
when a video comes out showing that you knew everything that was
1,700-page
occurring.
investigation that proves what you just said is not the case. Not only I wasn't interviewed, I wasn't deposed, there was no finding of anybody responsible. So that's the case. And so this is the Democrats trying to say and do whatever they can to win the seat, to hold the seat.
I've lived by
and that's
my statements here today.
Yes.
You haven't.
Yes, I
the
have.
The fact is, as an investigator, I've had
Your statements
I've had cases
change on all
time
these issues.
I've had statements time and time and time again on cases, and then all of a sudden, a video comes out where the person testifies on their own words
Yes.
that yes, I knew everything that was occurring,
about
and
the
then they
philosophy.
go back out and
very
lie
different. This was
Your
you need to
statements
listen
are
here
very
because
clear,
here
very
this was
clear.
a school.
You knew it was
this
going
was a
on.
school for kids who were expelled. Some who were incarcerated. There were 6 therapists and a psychiatrist on staff. So that gives you a sense of the school. I was there 2 years out of the 30 years. The investigation started years before I was there and concluded after I left. I was never named in any of this stuff, and nobody was found
The
responsible.
argument, though, is
So
that you were
that's
headmaster
in-
and executive director.
Yes.
If you didn't know, you should have
No,
known.
absolutely. Well, we talked about that before. Is here, this investigation found nobody was responsible.
They closed the
that
school
it wasn't,
down.
No, they didn't. That school
That
lasted
school was
3
under
years.
court or
3 years after
the
I was
investigation
there,
kept going.
and it moved to Florida. So
And-
you've got
and
to. If you're
they
gonna,
already
if you're
had
gonna-
the Florida school
if-
opened up, Paul.
No, they did not.
They
If
did
you
too.
You need to have.
I've
you
read
did-
that.
You already admitted to me you didn't even read the
That was the
investigation.
other day.
Yeah,
And so-
1,700
so
pages.
Here's where I kind of wanted to
Yeah.
go with the question.
What about veterans? We
Well,
haven't even talked about
No, we
40,000
haven't.
veterans.
We haven't. The point was, people were kind of worried about you because you had switched parties. People are worried about you because of all these high-level investigations and allegations.
Surprise, that it's at election time.
How would you respond to someone who was the
Yes.
focus of that many high-level investigations?
I'll tell you, people know me, as, not just as a sheriff, as an Army veteran. Why on earth would I get this year an award by the school committees of Arizona and the superintendents as a hero of public education? Why last year was I recognized nationally as a protector of children? And this is what I've done. This is why it's such a personal affront to me.
But again,
because it's a false smear.
I understand that.
and
but,
it's done politically.
But if
to
someone
attack.
else you saw someone else with these kinds of high-level investigation, would you not be concerned?
It's not a high-level investigation. This was something that was concluded 15, 20 years
State
ago.
of Massachusetts looked at it, though, correct?
That's different than what you just said. So this is where they found there was nothing there.
Paul, in
And
2012,
so what
you
they
denied
did,
to the voters that you
they
knew anything
issued
about this.
a license.
Okay, all right.
2012,
But the same
complete
question
denial.
goes. But the same question goes to you. How would you feel about a candidate running for office who critics say is basically picking a party by convenience?
I would say this. Has that person in the past, what have they done? And if they have taken a look at their party and said, I think you're wrong, and I am going to make sure the children of our state are protected. Over the fact that you're threatening to take my chairmanship away, I trust that. I trust my past actions, and they need to understand that Paul lied to the taxpayers and the citizens
All right,
of the state.
we got to stop right there,
that's
gentlemen,
not
because we got to get to closing statements.
Jeez.
And each candidate will now give a 1-minute closing statement. And going in reverse order of the opening statements, we start with Paul Babiou.
Well, for me, it's a great honor to serve our community, to serve our state, to put Arizona first in every regard, to put America first. That's what I've done as a sheriff, 20 years, also in the Army. Served as a private, working my way up to a major, serving in Iraq. I've always put the safety and security of our nation first. That's not the case by this administration. I want to change that. I want to put Arizonans and our jobs first. You heard tonight about coal. I will protect coal and the jobs associated with it and prevent a 30+% increase in rates that we pay for utilities. So I'm on the side of reducing taxes, cutting regulations, part of the Paul Ryan plan that there's a better way for our country. If you want that, if you want a better way and a greater opportunity for our country, then I ask for your vote, I ask for your support. It's my privilege to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now with his closing statement, Tom O'Halloran.
Well, I'm on the side that works for the American families and the citizens of Congressional District 1. I have cut their taxes. I have improved the schools in Arizona until the Republicans came in and decimated funding for these schools in 2010 and 2011 and 2012. I have looked at our infrastructure in this state. I have worked on making sure our forests are cared for and our water is taken care of for in rural Arizona. And most importantly, I have a record that shows that I work with people. I will work with anybody from either party, whoever the president is, you name it. I will, for the betterment of the citizens of Congressional District 1, I will be there for them because I always have been. And I want to thank the voters. I want to make sure that we understand that I'm the best choice for Congressional District 1 because I have the record on which to stand for that.
All right, stop you right there. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We do appreciate you coming in for the debate. Thank you so much. Thank you, candidates. Thank you for watching this special election 2016 debate featuring candidates for Arizona's Congressional District 1. Keep watching Arizona Horizon for debates and political coverage in this very important election year. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.